This is the last example of the difference in analysis between Western eyes and perhaps we could say non-Western eyes here. This is figure 1.3. It comes from our introduction in O'Reilly in our textbook, and it is a portion of a Navajo sand painting. If we were to look at this and analyze it in our Western art history classes, we would probably talk about the simplified schematic forms that are found, the symmetry, and the repetition of geometric shapes and forms. The figure is created with triangles, and the figure is placed inside a circle. But to the Navajo who produced this image, it is much, much more than that. It is a dynamic depiction that is cosmic in nature and is intended to restore balance to the world. It is Navajo. It is a sand painting. The Navajo are the largest reservation. That's the land area that I'm talking about in the United States. They're also the largest in population of the Indian nations in the United States. They do have a living language that is continued, and within that, they call themselves the Diné, which means the people. They believe that when order or chaos strikes, a ceremony is required to restore balance, to bring back order and harmony. And their goal is to seek to maintain harmony here and now, as they would say, to walk in beauty. The holy ones are the spirits, and they've given the Navajo, the Diné, guidance on what the cosmic order looks like and how to do rituals to maintain it. Included within that, there are 4 sacred mountains outlining the world of the Diné, and the number 4 itself is very sacred to the Navajo. In addition to the mountains, there are 4 sacred plants and 4 sacred colors. For the Diné, everyone is an artist. Everyone has creative ability. But the sand painter that we're looking at making this painting is actually a shaman or a healer who creates a temporary picture by pouring the sand, the minerals, the pollen, the plant pieces into a constructed image. What I'd like you to be thinking about is how orderly this image is, and to remember that the goal of the Dana is restoration of order. So it's divided into segments, and often these paintings come with separations of 4 colors and 4 different plants, and sometimes even with the 4 directions of the 4 mountains. They are all part of the divine order of the cosmos. So our figure in the center that we might refer to as a stiff geometric shape or a schematic image is actually an important central part of a cosmic scheme. Yes, it is symmetrical, but at the same time, it is not stiff. There's a rotational movement and there is balanced duality. We have opposites of warm and cool colors. We have curving lines versus straight ones. I'd like you to think of the circle versus the figure. And we also have symmetry versus asymmetry. And if you take a look at our figure, you'll discover that as we look at it on the right side of our figure, there are projections which do alter the symmetry. This image that we're looking at is one that is not complete. The Diné in the past allowed outsiders to photograph some of their ritual images. They no longer do that. The only way it is acceptable to record any part of their image is if it has been shown only in its incomplete form and therefore without the power normally associated with its ritual properties. This is a secular sand painting, which was created for sale. So with this, it's possible to see the whole thing. It was not created for a ritual, and it is not a transitory image. If a ritual picture is made by the shaman or the healer at the end of the ceremony, the particles of sand are swept up and returned to the desert. The painting has served its purpose and is not maintained as a permanent work of art. This particular permanent painting, though, which was made for sale, can be kept, seen, shown, and discussed. It is similar to what we just looked at, but it has been altered consciously, not just by being made permanent, but also altered in such a way as to take away its potential for ritual power. In many of the healing images produced as part of ritual process, the paintings or sand pourings include the four sacred plants. We have four plants here, but they are not the complete set of four. By reducing the number, because we have a repetition of a single plant, we are taking away the ritual authority of the picture. Okay, what have we got? This is corn, this is squash, this is tobacco, and oops, this is tobacco as well. The fourth plant, or the plant that's missing, would be beans. By taking away the beans and duplicating the tobacco, we have rendered this picture without its ritual potential. The figure in the center is placed in a circle, and radiating out from that circle are feathers. Feathers are usually associated with prayer, and of course, as part of the ritual itself, we're calling on the holy ones to come and to assist and to help with the healing process. So I think the feathers are probably a reference to that. The feathers are broken into four separate segments, and we'd expect that. Four being so sacred to the Navajo. Those feathers are also different colors, and the easiest to see in my diagram would be the white ones here and the black ones here. Each of those colors is associated with a direction also, a sacred direction, and the black ones would be associated with north. So we're not actually looking at this sand painting as if we were looking at a map on our wall. Ritually constructed pictures like this one, although of course remember this is a secular version, are not just simplified schematic geometric stick figures that are created with a formal symmetry. Rather, they are images that are cosmological in nature, and they do have a balanced dualism to them and a kind of energy. They also were used specifically within the curing ceremony for purposes of restoration of harmony, and one of the tools to do that was the sand painting. The ritual paintings also are never permanent, so you could also say that they only exist permanently in the memory of the healer.